substituting for Cedric Foster, who was on a brief leave of absence. History-making feats were almost commonplace in Japan today. Thousands of American occupation troops swarmed onto the once proud insular nation from the air and from the sea.
Chinese demand return of Hong Kong, Chongqing. The influential Chinese newspaper Ta Kung Pao urges that the British return Hong Kong and Kowloon to China. The newspaper says that when Hong Kong was in trouble, Chinese troops rushed to its rescue. Then when the Japanese surrendered without fighting, the Chinese were willing to let the British enter the Crown colony first. This, the Chinese paper says, is in the tradition of the ancient Chinese moral code of virtues first, profits second. I will be back in a moment with an editorial note on the Japanese surrender, but first here is Walter Brewer.
And all is not jubilation among Americans in Japan today. Stories of hunger, humiliation, and from American prisoners being released from prison camps in the vicinity of the capital and rushed emergency relief supplies before they can be removed by special emergency mercy teams. Former prisoners, as well as officials who inspected camps in the Tokyo-Yokohama area, brought back to rescue ships blood-chilling accounts of death and torture. Commodore Roger Simpson, commanding the evacuation force, said that many prisoners were suffering from fractures, open wounds, concussions, and burns, and all from malnutrition. Simpson declared, "There never has been a blacker hellhole in the prisoner of war hospital we are now evacuating." The first group of prisoners freed included Major Gregory Boyington of Okanagan, Washington, the leading ace of the Pacific War before he was shot down over Rabaul in January 1944. Boyington said that he was denied medical treatment for 10 days despite injuries and had been beaten repeatedly by the Japanese. The air ace and members of B-29 crews who bailed out over Japan were classed as special prisoners by the Japanese. They were denied all the rights of prisoners provided by the Geneva Convention and were not permitted to register with the Red Cross, so no word from them ever reached the United States. They received particularly brutal treatment at the hands of their captors, much of it indescribable.
An editorial note. General MacArthur deserves praise for having shown himself equally versed in military tradition and Oriental etiquette, and for doing his utmost to register the defeat in Japanese psychology as if an invasion had actually taken place. Now MacArthur will have to show his ability as a statesman who knows how to be stern and just, so that he can allow the proper popular movements in Japan's political life to come to the surface. Here is the background story. Reports on Nazi war criminal Martin Bormann, London. The fate of the Nazi official Martin Bormann remains a mystery to Allied prosecutors, who admitted today that they did not know if he is alive or dead. Bormann is one of the 24 Nazis named as defendants in the first mass war crimes trial. A spokesman for the American prosecutor says that Bormann will be tried in absentia if he is not located before the trial opens. The spokesman says that no evidence has been found so far that Bormann is an Allied prisoner. If Bormann still is alive, he may be found hiding in fascist Spain or in fascist Argentina.